Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're doing something really special. We're taking a spatial journey right into the very heart of Amritsar. We're going to explore a place where, yes, the physical gold shines with absolute blinding brilliance. But as you'll soon discover, the true wealth here actually lies in its profound dedication to service and human equality. This isn't just a tour of a beautiful building. It's a deep dive into a philosophy that's literally woven right into the architecture and the history itself.
Picture a structure covered in an estimated 750 to 1,000 kilograms of pure gold plating. I mean, by today's standards, that is a staggering amount of material wealth. But what is its true wealth? Well, the moment you actually step foot inside the Harmandir Sahib, which is globally known as the Golden Temple, that immense worldly fortune immediately gives way to an atmosphere of really profound, grounding humility. It's a complete shift in perspective.
You see this philosophy immediately in the architecture itself. The main temple features exactly 4 entrances, facing north, south, east, and west. And this brilliantly illustrates a core belief. Unlike ancient religious sites that often restricted access based on your class or your background, these doors send a loud, clear message. No matter what direction you come from, what religion you practice, or what caste you belong to, you are welcome here. The doors are literally and metaphorically open to all of humanity.
Situated exactly in the center of the complex is a massive, man-made pool called the Amrit Sarovar, which translates to the Pool of Nectar. It's incredible because the temple isn't built on solid land like you'd expect. It's seemingly floating right in the middle of this sacred water. In fact, this specific body of water is absolutely central to the region's identity. It actually gives the entire surrounding city its name, Amritsar.
Now think about most grand monuments or temples you've seen. Usually they're built on raised platforms, right? They require you to walk up these grand staircases, physically elevating you above everything else. Well, the Harmandir Sahib does the exact opposite. To enter, you must walk down a causeway. This is a highly deliberate, really clever architectural choice. You physically descend into the space, which is meant to completely strip away your ego and arrogance. It's a physical reminder that to reach the divine, you've got to first become humble.
Okay, let's dive into this history to understand how this marvel came to be. We have to look all the way back to 1577, when the 4th Sikh guru, Guru Ram Das, first began excavating the pool. But the real defining moment of unity came in 1588. Get this, the foundation stone of this sacred Sikh site was actually laid by a Muslim Sufi saint named Hazrat Mian Mir. It's a beautiful showcase of incredible interfaith harmony right from day one. A few years later, in 1604, the Holy Scripture, the Guru Granth Sahib, was installed. Interestingly enough, it wasn't actually until the 1830s that the famous Maharaja Ranjit Singh donated the gold plating that gives the temple its modern name.
Now, while that 19th century gold donation represents incredible material wealth, there's a much quieter, deeply profound symbol sitting right on the edge of the Amrit Sarovar. The Dukbanjani berry is an ancient jujube tree that represents healing grace. According to popular legend, a woman left her husband, who was tragically suffering from leprosy, under this very tree. The story goes that he witnessed a black crow dip into the waters and emerge as a pure white swan. Realizing the water's immense power, he bathed in it and was miraculously cured. To this very day, pilgrims revered this humble little spot far more for its healing legacy than the blinding gold sitting right across the water.
Exiting the main temple, our spatial journey takes us into a seemingly ordinary red brick building. But trust me, it's anything but ordinary. This is the Guru Ram Das Langar, and it seamlessly continues that beautiful theme of absolute equality. It is literally the world's largest free community kitchen, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week without fail. It keeps alive a 500-year-old tradition started by the very first Sikh guru, Guru Nanak, who fundamentally believed that no spiritual journey could ever be complete on an empty stomach.
So, how many people are we talking about? On any given day, between 50,000 and 100,000 visitors eat here. But it's how they eat that truly hits home. Everyone, and I mean everyone, from literal billionaires to those experiencing homelessness, sits cross-legged together on the floor in long rows called pangats. In this vast, bustling dining hall, all societal boundaries of rich and poor,
caste and creed are completely erased by the simple, beautiful act of sharing a meal.
Now, what's really interesting about this daily volume is when you zoom out. It translates to roughly 35 million free meals served every single year. Let's just pause and put that staggering scale into perspective for a second. That is the equivalent of feeding the entire population of Canada completely for free year after year. Isn't that just mind-blowing?
To sustain a kitchen of that sheer magnitude, the daily ingredients required are, frankly, hard to wrap your head around. We're talking 24 kilos of salt, 12 kilos of mixed spices, 12 kilos of turmeric, and 48 kilos of ghee. And that's used just to flavor the massive vats of dal. Add to that the absolute endless quantities of wheat required for the thousands of hand-rolled rotis. The best part? It's all funded entirely by donations and managed by everyday people. This whole process is a massive, incredibly well-oiled machine driven purely by devotion. It kicks off with volunteers, known as sevadars, tirelessly prepping mountains of ingredients. The meals are then slow-cooked over enormous wood fire vats, which actually imparts a really rich, unique flavor to the food. But here's the crucial step. Before a single plate is handed out, the food is blessed and symbolically offered to the divine using a sacred sword, the kirpan. Only then do the sevadars joyfully serve the massive crowds waiting so patiently on the floor.
As we continue our journey, moving just 500 meters down the main road from the Golden Temple, the atmosphere undergoes a very profound, somber shift. We arrive at Jallianwala Bagh. This site transitions our pilgrim's journey from the overwhelming spiritual peace of the temple to what is undoubtedly one of the most painful, tragic chapters in all of Indian history.
Back in 1919, a large, entirely peaceful crowd gathered right here on the harvest festival of Baisakhi. They were gathering to protest the restrictive Rowlatt Act. British General Dyer, upon learning of this gathering, ordered his troops to open fire indiscriminately on the unarmed crowd. As the firing continued and sheer panic set in, many people, desperately trying to escape the rain of bullets, jumped into a large well on the grounds. Today, that structure is preserved, known as the Martyrs' Well. So the crucial point is, still standing today is an original brick wall with 36 distinct bullet marks etched right into its surface. It's a stark, deeply chilling visual reminder of the raw violence that occurred that day. Walking through Jallianwala Bagh now, you really can't help but feel a deep, heavy sense of respect and quiet reflection for the immense sacrifices made on that very soil. And the historical weight of this area doesn't stop there. Just a short 200-meter walk from Jallianwala Bagh brings us to our final stop, the Partition Museum. Run entirely by a private trust, this museum serves as a heart-wrenching archive documenting the traumatic split of India and Pakistan. The artifacts and histories held inside show the deeply personal, devastating toll of lines simply being drawn across a map, forever altering the fabric of this entire region.
Which really leaves us with this final provocative thought. In the span of just a few city blocks, we've walked from the absolute overwhelming peace and spiritual quality of the Harmandir Sahib straight into the deep historical scars of Jallianwala Bagh and the partition. It forces us to ask the big question: what is the true spirit of Amritsar? Is it defined by the extreme trauma it has endured, or by the incredible resilience and unwavering devotion to humanity it continues to serve up, one free meal at a time? I'll let you think about that. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope it sparked a genuine desire to learn even more.